You know, I don't know if I really need to pull for Child for the new water melee character because this character here, Xingqiu, is one of the best. I don't know if I pronounced that right, okay? Don't roast me over the coals here. But it's one of the most amazing 4-stars I've seen, and I think I've been sleeping on him. Just watch, you see this hydro damage in AoE. When you attack somebody, look at the water coming down, okay? It does tons and tons of damage. This character actually seems to me almost like a burst character because the E itself, I've done upwards of 20,000 damage with the E. Look, I can't even get him to stay alive long enough to really show you the damage. And we find a character here and we hit him, okay? See, look at that damage. That there was almost 20,000 there. And we switch back to the other character. When we get hit, we're going to have damage reduction, and then we also gain health. You see there, we didn't get knocked back because we have the swords up, so you get resistance and health. It's just really good, man. Let's see if we can get him drop down here. There we go. Let's get the bird out, and now let's see if we can get a combo into the E, into the Q. Now watch this. Watch the damage, man. Oh my god. You see that hydro damage? Do you see that? Plus, on top of it, he's one of the only characters, he might actually be the only character I'm aware of that just flat out gives an elemental percentage bonus right out of the gate. So if you combine that with a goblet plus more skills than I have, he's gonna hit pretty hard. For the constellations, you don't have to have the last one. And the reason being, it's, you know those AoE swords come down with a Zalt, right? Well, every third one's going to hit more. That's not something that's required in order for him to still do damage. It seems at a minimum currently, just as it states, I'm hitting like multiple thousands per each one of those fragments, even without the greatest damage bonus. However, I would say the fourth one's pretty important, which is when your E does 50% more damage, which you really want that more damage percentage because we're going to stack it with Hydro in order to make his E pop off with like 20k crits. But at a minimum, you probably want the second constellation for the Hydro Shred, so that way you can shred into big hits. Now, the other way to build him is kind of a supportive build, which is what you really do with him is you rely on this passive, which makes it where when each one of the swords go down, he gets 6% of his max health applied as a heal to whatever character the sword went down on. I like this. This is quite good because he also gives resistance and damage reduction, which to me is a pretty big mix. And it does not apply the wet status effect to the person with the rain swords. For instance, like Barbara applies wetness to the person that's getting healed. So you can actually end up freezing yourself and stuff like this. He doesn't actually do that to the person, so that's kind of a step up. However, if you're going to build that way as a healer, keep in mind it's very frustrating because there's not really a way to activate the heal. If I want Dialog to be healed by one of these sword guys, I got to go get hit. And for that reason, I don't like heals that are based upon getting hit. I'm more encouraged by the fact that what can happen is I can use it to not get resisted if I up, basically, so I don't get interrupted from running around or getting knocked down. I like that more than I like the heal. As you can see, you can obviously wait for it to run out and use that as a heal. When the swords go out, however many you have left, you're going to get 6% times all those swords as a big heal. That's pretty nice as a big chunk, especially if you build him as HP, where I built him more for the hydro damage. Also pairs amazingly well with Fischl, which is a free character coming in the next update. So if you're planning to do like a 10 pull or anything on the new banner and you pull this guy, you're also going to be getting a perfect character to pair with him. In my opinion, a wonderful 4-star free-to-play team at this point will be Chongyang, Barbara, Xingqiu, and Fischl. All right, you got a couple different combos there that I like a lot. Also, the fact that he's a water character means he pairs really well with Chongyang, or really frost type of characters. What can happen is you can lay down the field, you can attack for that, E, and now they're frozen. And if you're going to use your Q, you can guarantee yourself to have consistent water damage over and over and over again, and you can basically just have someone 100% frozen for as long as you really want. So he's not bad paired with any of the, cryo people. All right, let's give you a pretty good comparison here, give you a decent fight so you can kind of get an idea of what you're here to deal with. Let's go ahead and lay down the bird, and the Chongyang will show you here with a little bit of a combo. Now we're going to get the water down, and then we'll use the E. Look at that. Did you see that crit? 12,000 already? Oh my god. I mean, to me, it just seems insane. Look at that water damage, man. I mean, all of it just... I don't understand where all of it's coming from, because I thought you only hit him 3 times with the blade, but I feel like I'm getting 5 procs or something off of the E. You know, if you look at this, you get a pretty big amount of hits. All right, we gotta run away from him for a second so we don't die. Maybe we can use Changyang to tank the damage. I did pick up the C4 on Klee, which has just been an absolute ton of fun to use. There's 16,000 from that. Speaking of damage, man, that's pretty impressive too. But check this out. Then you get the Q up again. There's the Q. We use the Q one more time. And then these people just shred. Look at it. I mean, I don't think I'm going to get over that. I can't believe I didn't build this guy earlier. I mean, just the amount of consistent water damage, you know? Like, I've played with Mona, right? And Mona's fun, but like, even with Mona, there's nowhere near I can get in this amount of water-based damage with it. And water-based damage is so hard to get. I mean, what are you going to do? Pull out your Barbara to do it? So his physical damage is kind of like whatever. It's the same as like my Jean. It's the same as almost anyone with a sword, but man, you get to that elemental and it's just, he just chews through him. Okay, for artifacts, what you really want is you want a hydro-based goblet for sure, because of the 20% bonus he gets. You want to try to stack as much hydro damage as you possibly can. If you're trying to do damage as a main damage dealer, you're then going to build attack percentage. If you're using them as a support and just burst damage dealer, where you're only going to use him for his E and his Q when it's up and switch back to somebody else as your main damage dealer, then you're probably going to run a mix of attack percentage and HP percentage. That way you can get more heals as well based upon his shields. If you don't know the way his heals work, he gets these swords that go around him, which reduces damage per sword, but when the sword drops off, you also get health, right? And that health scales upon his HP percentage, as we've talked about earlier. And if you look through here, okay, the first one gives him more swords, so that's 6% more healing, but if you go through here, the rest of these are damage-based, meaning that if you want to build him as a healer and just have the resistance to the sword, you don't really need the constellations. Don't really get tricked into elemental mastery, because if you look at here, the stronger the elemental energy that can be released, increases damage caused by vaporized melt, increases damage, blah, 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 blah. Elemental mastery isn't going to actually make your elemental damage more, it's going to make your elemental combinations do more. So don't get baited into like an elemental mastery sword or something. If you're building him for the burst damage, you want to go with like a sacrificial sword, which has a chance of resetting his E, meaning you can just do the E burst damage again and then again, right? Pretty nuts. You can also go with the one that's going to generate him more energy if you want to use him as your main damage dealer, okay? It also gives him energy recharge. You're going to get less of your physical damage, but you're going to get more overall hydro damage because you're going to have your ultimate ability up more. So those are 2 4-star options. If you want more AoE damage, you can go the Flute. And then obviously your 5-star options are Aquila Favonia. All in all, you don't want to sleep on this guy. You're going to have a chance to pull him in this upcoming banner. He's going to pair really well with a free character we're getting in Fischl. Has very good overall damage. Has a nice utility in countering resistance, as well as decent amount of overall healing. Not great on the healing, but decent, okay? You can heal people outside of combat with him too, so you can use it when just running around. And overall, I think the character, in my opinion, gets like an 8.5 out of 10, maybe a 9. I would say higher, but his damage is great, not wonderful, and the healing is good, not great. If this video helped at all, or you learned anything, or if you just enjoy me, consider subscribing. I'm very close to my next goal. I appreciate you all, and have a wonderful day.